Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Monday, September 30th spoilers for General Hospital show that Carly Spencer was glad to hear that Jason Morgan had returned with Lucky Spencer, who had some tests performed at GH prior to getting back together. Lucky also stopped by Lulu Spencer's bedside, where he broke down in tears and considered how things may have turned out had he stayed. He recommended they talk about if forgiveness was an option after Lulu woke up. Elizabeth Baldwin updated Aiden Weber at home about Lucky's return to PC. Aiden admitted that rather than the other way around, he was the one who always reached out to his father. However, Aiden couldn't be upset because he knew Lucky was coming back to help Lulu. Aiden would not refuse Lucky's request to contact and see him. Even so, Aiden effectively made it known that he was a mama's boy and proud of it. James West then answered the door for Holly Sutton, who, while Max Scorpio drove James to school, uncorked a bottle of bubbly and talked to someone on the phone about the jewels. When Mac returned, he worried that Holly would ruin Robert Scorpio's happy life. He talked to Jack Brennan in Robert's office and decided to give Holly a debrief after all the turmoil in Africa. Brennan came up with a way for Robert to address it without having to involve the WSB. Holly was tempted to knock on Robert's door later, but she finally decided to just go away. When Carly confronted Jason about his objective back at GH, she was shocked to learn of Holly's involvement. Carly claimed credit for saving the day when Jason brought up the drone strike since she asked Brennan for assistance. That news made Jason nervous because he didn't trust Brennan. Jason stated there was nothing to hide from Carly, but she had the feeling there was something he was hiding from her regarding the assignment. Terry Randolph visited Liz to give her an update after speaking with Lucky at the hospital. Elizabeth acknowledged that speaking with Lucky over the phone caused her to feel conflicted, but she was obviously guarding her heart. Liz had predicted that Lucky would return as soon as he had saved Lulu. She remembered kissing Jason at Anna Devane's apartment before Felicia Scorpio arrived to ask her about the mission. Felicia remarked that Jason's presence must have been consoling since Anna summarized all the danger. When Terry received the results of Lucky's testing from Portia Robinson at the hospital, they were happy to see that Lulu had found her donor. As Lucky arrived at Bobby's, Elizabeth was working behind the counter. Liz turned to face Lucky and they had a passionate reunion as she turned around. According to General Hospital spoilers, Lucky and Elizabeth will have a lot to discuss, so tune in. After much anticipation, Liz and Lucky, who have long been admirers of one another, finally met in person at the close of the September 30th episode of General Hospital. Though the MLB playoffs will prevent the ABC soap opera from airing for 2 days, Jonathan Jackson has provided a brief teaser to tide us over until Thursday. Watchers could see the range of emotions in Liz's eyes. In an interview with Soap Opera Digest, the returning soap veteran said that there was tension during their reunion. The sequences will highlight the awkwardness of the situation, of him not really being there for the last decade, and Lucky is obviously feeling a lot of remorse and guilt. Because of his relationship with Rebecca Herbst, the actor found the moments to be fun to play, even though the character's reunion after all these years might be a little stressful. As one might anticipate, Liz and Lucky will have a lot of catching up to do, and their son Aiden, played by Colin Cassidy, will be a major topic of conversation. Jackson looks forward to examining the father-slash-son bond and pondered on a former one between Lucky and Luke. He said to the publication, "I'm so looking forward to it, and playing Tony's son was just so fascinating. That is, after all, just one more incredible and distinctive feature of this medium. I began as Lucky at the age of 11 and had the opportunity to grow up and be the child of Tony and Jeannie, Francis, Laura, of Luke and Laura. Later, I returned as an adult and Lucky had his own grown son. It truly is something incredibly remarkable and unusual. We're eager to see how everything turns out. What say you? Now that Lucky has returned to Port Charles, share your wishes and ideas with us in the comments area." Spoilers for the upcoming 2-week period on General Hospital, September 30th to October 11th, indicate that some shocking developments are expected in Port Charles. There will be some intense moments during the week of September 30th to October 4th, but first, we have a programming note to share. The upcoming Major League Baseball postseason means that on Tuesday, October 1st, GH will be preempted. Remember that GH won't be running any new episodes on Wednesday, October 2nd, as there will be another preemption after that. Depending on how the playoffs play out, there may be one more preemption because there might be a wildcard game in the works. As events develop later in the week, we'll be sure to keep you informed. After discussing all the preemption news, let's go dramatic. To begin with, when Terry Randolph is formally back in PC, Elizabeth Baldwin will have to answer to his inquiries on her genuine feelings for Lucky Spencer. Lucky will immediately go to the hospital to undergo tests to determine whether or not he is a suitable donor match and whether or not his liver can withstand the procedure. Lucky will also pay a visit to the unconscious Lulu Spencer, apologizing for the delay in returning home. Jason Morgan will be questioned by Carly Spencer over the chaos that occurred during his Lucky rescue mission. We have a feeling Jason might omit the bit about kissing Anna Devane. But Anna needs to process her own experience because coming dangerously close to a terrible end really confused her. Felicia Scorpio will listen to Anna with compassion as she confesses that she truly believed her time was running out. Naturally, Anna might tell Felicia about her kiss with Jason in the end, leading Felicia to believe Anna ought to seize the opportunity for fresh love. However, given Jason's relationship to Sonny Corinthos, Felicia may be wary of his line of work and the potential for chaos. Sam McCall will then feel the need to talk to someone about a few topics. If Sam expresses her criticism of Jason for putting himself in risk while also expressing her relief that he's back safely with Lucky, then that may be Jason. Molly Lansing Davis will exert pressure on Alexis Davis in the interim, and she might try to persuade her mother that taking Sonny Corinthos to court is the only way to get out. Elizabeth will return and issue a warning. Liz might also caution Lucky about his upcoming reunion with Aiden Weber and advise him against putting their son through unnecessary heartache. Elizabeth won't want Lucky to raise Aiden's expectations if he's just going to bail once more. In addition, as their relationship gets stronger, Trina Robinson will confide in Ava Jerome. Later on, Trina and Giovanni Gio Palmieri will argue, which will damage their friendship. It's likely that Gio and Trina will reconcile in the end, so perhaps this is simply angst on the way to a potential romance. We're not sure if we should be happy that General Hospital was murdering off Sam so we could prepare ourselves, or sad that it happened, because we're now dreading Kelly Monaco's final episodes. We still have mixed emotions on this, the fan favorite's 21st anniversary in the part. Sam's encounter with her creator has been hinted at throughout the episode, which further complicates issues. She is a skilled diver who is motivated to create a splash in order to get the gun that Alexis was seen throwing from a bridge. Sam is unlikely to return to the surface following that disastrous dive. True, terrible for fans, but incredible drama. Could Sam's demise have been any more sad than one that could have been completely prevented had the good gangster from Port Charles confessed to what he had done to the former Jagger? Ironically, when Port Charles was cancelled in 2003, Monaco, who had already recorded Sam's farewell song, will be leaving the daily drama that she preferred to all others. As vampire bride Livy, she had made such an impression that, according to an interview with Soap Opera Digest in 23, probably within 30 minutes of finding out the show was axed, I basically got an offer from every one of the networks. I was the best of the bunch. Frank Valentini, who is currently General Hospital's executive producer, tried his hardest to get Monaco to join One Life to Live, which he was overseeing at the time. She remembered that he had probably been the most aggressive one that was seeking me out and had even phoned her directly. However, die-hard fan Monaco ultimately decided to sign with General Hospital. I had that dream, she remarked. General Hospital all the way, was how I felt. Lucky gets tested today on General Hospital. Aiden tells Liz about his father, Jason alerts Carly about Brennan, Robert finds out about Holly's back, and Anna muses over the kiss. Brennan informs Carly that everyone has returned to Port Charles safely from the hospital by coming to Lulu's room. Jason waits at the nurse's hub while Portia brings Lucky to an examination room so she can take his blood. He will be sent for additional testing to make sure his liver is compatible if he is a match for Lulu. She examines his most recent wounds, then Lucky goes back to Jason in the waiting room. Carly comes out of the elevator and Lucky remarks on how strange it is to be back. She hugs her cousin and informs them that they're attempting to contact Laura and Kevin, but there's intermittent cell service. Lucky apologizes to her for not being present and tells her how sorry he is for Aunt Bobby. No matter where he was, Bobby loved him, Carly reassures him. Lucky is informed by Portia that he is free to see Lulu. Anna remembers her kiss with Jason when she gets home. Devane, what are you doing? Felicia approaches and demands to know everything about her latest adventure. It was more than Anna had anticipated, she admits. As Aiden rushes off to school, Elizabeth catches him at home. She informs him that Lucky will be visiting Port Charles today. Aiden tells her that he was the one who struck up the conversation when she asks how he feels about that. He didn't get a response from Lucky for 5 months at one point. He doesn't dislike him, but knows Lucky isn't coming home for him. Since the goal is to save Aunt Lulu, he cannot be angry. Even though Aiden knows it will be strange and hasn't thought about him in days, he wouldn't say no to seeing him. Lucky knows how to reach him, according to Aiden, when Elizabeth offers to get in touch with him. If she believes he's like his father, Aiden asks. They are both described as handsome by her. People often tell Aiden he looks like her, and he finds that flattering. Being his mother's son brings him joy. Aiden, who is still in his teens, has an athletic build, with his floppy bangs hanging in the middle. When Nina and Curtis first meet, she is amazed by his impeccable suit sense as well as his prior financial acumen. When the subject of Drew's campaign comes up, Curtis remarks she's dedicating a lot of time and energy to someone who is simply a friend. Nina believes it has the potential to grow into something greater, something genuine. Curtis wishes to prevent her from suffering harm. A music promoter calls him and congratulates him on his father's hiring to tour with Wynton Marsalis. Curtis wonders why his father is keeping information from him as he hangs up. James lets Holly in the door at home. His grandfather turns the corner when he screams for him. Mac looks at her in shock. Robert isn't at his house or business, so she pretends she's searching for him. While he drives James to school, Mac requests that she remain there. Holly is drinking champagne as he gets back and swiftly ends her phone conversation with someone about ice. Following their reunion, Mac informs her that Robert is content with his life and that he doesn't want her to sabotage it. Looking hurt, Holly walks away. With a coffee mug in his hand, Mac looks at Holly gravely in his kitchen. Between them, a chilled bottle of champagne rests in a bucket. Brennan is called into Robert's office to get an update on Sidwell. Brennan acknowledges that he has ruined his operation, but he is unsure of his own survival. Nobody who was involved is safe if he is. Robert is certain that Brennan complied with agency protection procedures, which call for the absence of any civilian witnesses. Brennan questions how concerned he should be about Holly Sutton, but he isn't concerned about Jason, Anna, or Lucky posing a security issue. He hoped Robert would give her a debriefing. Robert accepts it, acknowledging that she poses a security risk, just not in the way Brennan believes. Jason tells Carly all about the mission, including how Holly assisted them in the hospital lobby. They would all very likely be dead if she hadn't loved Luke so much. "That was me," is her reaction when he informs her about the drone strike. She describes how she asked Brennan for assistance and the two of them witnessed the strike. Jason cries and tells her not to put her trust in him. Jason is reassured by Carly that she can handle him, but she questions what he's hiding from her regarding the assignment. Jason boards the elevator, adamant that nothing happened. Terry informs Liz that Lucky is in the hospital when he visits her home. Elizabeth asks about him, shifting uneasily. Terry claims that although he appeared to have been through a lot, he looked terrific. Elizabeth acknowledges that when she heard his voice on the phone, a lot of emotions surfaced. Emotions for the man she once loved and the man he was. She is aware that he returns solely to see Lulu and will soon depart once more. Terry thinks she's going too far in trying to control her expectations. Elizabeth is aware that he's probably still a great guy, but 15 years separates them. Terry states before she goes that everything she said made sense, but occasionally things stop making sense. Sitting in Lulu's hospital room is Lucky. They both know he was merely hiding and running, but he breaks down in tears as he tells them how busy he has been doing good in the world. Perhaps he could have prevented everything from happening if he had stayed and stood up for his family. Lucky expresses his love for Lulu. He hopes she will be able to forgive him for not being the needed or deserved brother. Now that he's there, perhaps he can save her. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.